4th, Ed. The
Already.
4th of October.
10:04. Sober October.
Whoa,
so far, it's been
without echo. Oh, turn my mic on. Nobody can hear me, Ed.
turn your pike on.
Oh my gosh. Talk about amateur hour around here. Jesus, you can tell we're YouTubers and not serious broadcast journalists.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You know, so Ed, I want to start the conversation today with this idea of the short and the naked short. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that are getting hammered, and it doesn't really make sense because all of the news is good and all of there's no big financings, and so we're under the suspicion that there are large institutions shorting stock without having to cover or deliver stock, and they're basically wrecking these companies, and there's no enforcement because the regulators are incapable of adequately understanding what is going on in the market. What do you say about that?
Well, look. First of all, these guys that like if you're a professional shorter, you're shorting something.
Doesn't mean like you're short, like our little friend here.
Yeah, no, it's short like me. Yeah, look. At the end of the day, these people look and say, okay, over the last 150 years, companies should generate cash flow to justify their price. Now, we've had an explosion in valuation.
Yes.
And so all these companies are saying, hey, these guys will never justify their value, so let's short them.
Okay.
I mean, that's really the thinking, right?
Can I call up, if I find a broker who's on side with me, and I say, look, sell 500,000 of XYZ Corp every 5 minutes until it's 50 cents, and then put me on the bid at 49, and I catalyze a panic, and I take the stock down from $1 to 50 cents, but the panic keeps going and it goes way lower, but I'm sitting there buying it all at 49 to cover my short because it cost me 10 million shares to put it there, then I've just made a zero risk trade. The only risk is that somebody says, hey, you're crazy.
You're talking like you're sitting in a classroom. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, well, that's why I am sitting in a classroom. I'm the student. You're the teacher.
I'm just saying. Listen, my experience is.
Teach me, oh wise.
If you push it low enough, the shorts start to cover, and they move it back up.
Those bastards.
They move it back and forth like this. See?
No kidding, eh?
Back and forth,
down and up. Whoa!
No. Look. It's you know what?
No, I don't know anything.
This is not black and white. This game is gray.
Gray.
It's a shades of gray.
So we should actually be playing the gray sheets down in the States.
Look, at the end of the day, it's about.
What about at the beginning of the day?
It's
almost the end of the day.
Like Templeton and all these gurus, they look for undervalued based on, what do they have? Okay, hey, they're buying it. At the end of the day, when things go up fast and there's no earnings, people start to short them.
Bastards.
You can't blame them.
May as well join them.
If they're wrong, they get slaughtered.
Right, slaughtered.
But they're often right because they do a lot of due diligence. Like you look at
due diligence.
Do.
So you should
diligence.
do your diligence. I know this is insane. How are we ever going to make money with all these bandits sitting there on the sidelines with giant capital pools?
We've had you bought Canopy 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you still hold it. That's how you make money.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish I was that smart.
I know. It looks easy, but it never is.
Anyways, today we have an interesting lineup of guests. We have Menashe Kestenbaum.
Yes.
He's from a company called Enthusiast Gaming Holdings. So this is eSports gaming media. A very interesting interview because I think
something different.
How are you going to monetize video games if you're not a video game publisher? There is a way, it turns out. We have William MacLean from Wildflower Brands. We did a Skype interview with him in Vancouver. And we also have Philip Campbell here. He's the CEO of Ascent Industries Corp. Now, interesting story with Ascent Industries. They just got slapped with the ugly stick by Health Canada and had part of their licensing revoked on a temporary basis based on a surprise visit they paid to one of their subsidiaries who was not quite in compliance.
Yeah.
Very interesting story. So we'll get to those shortly. What else have we got to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about the juju because it's disappointing me to no end. And well, I got to tell it like it is. And it's not politically correct, but
so you feel better when the stocks don't go up?
Well, if I was that kind of guy and I was, only self-interested, then obviously I would never say a bad thing. But because I actually think that between you and me, in the longer term, if we protect the interest of the people who watch us, put their interests ahead of even our own, in the long term, we'll become more trusted and have a more sticky audience and actually be able to deliver value because we're straight up guys who let our audience make money, and we'll make money alongside them.
History tells you there's very few people that can truly put their others' interests in front of their own.
Right.
Guys like Gandhi, for instance.
Gandhi.
Okay, now
and what happened to him?
Look what happened to him. They
killed
him. They killed him because the lunatics can't stand the thought of someone being
so good,
a manifestation of the universe. So they kill him. You know, and it's insanity.
Death to Gandhi! Poor Mahatma.
Anyway, poor Mahatma.
He was such a
nice
nice guy.
At least he lived a pretty lengthy life.
He did.
But
he had to wear that diaper everywhere he went. That didn't look too good.
He sewed his own. He had a little...
What about like Mother Teresa?
You know what did? Mother Teresa said she doubted her faith. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
So she was a smart woman.
She said, you know, I mean, she fought, she struggled the so-called, you know, the party line. You know, you have to believe, and she struggled with it all.
Well, no, she surrounded herself with the most miserable cases of poverty,
but she was a giving. Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, let's say hello to some of our audience members here. Money Train James first. Yes, you were first, Money Train James. I Rising, first after first. Good point. Hilarious. Hilarious!
Hilarious.
Jeremy Girdler, second after first. Okay, you guys are having a good time out there.
Who's on first?
Money Train, that's a good place to be. Laugh. Okay, so whatever. These guys are having a conversation. They're having a good time without us.
You know what? This is just like they put on a pot of tea.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, it's time to...
Oh, good point. Wait a sec. You know what? They're talking about Cronos, saying, James, did you buy the Cronos?
Did you forget to?
No, I didn't forget to. I was so busy today with meetings and everything that I haven't even had a chance to look at the market, really.
It's down. It was down, but it's starting to come back. I've been watching it.
It's down to 1335. No, I didn't buy the Cronos today.
Yeah, but it got down to 1290 or 1280.
Really?
And it's moving back up. This may be the day that it reverses. Because it is oversold. You know, much like, you know, we want to buy when it's oversold.
Yes.
And we want to sell when it's overbought.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right.
So we should dump something to buy this? I mean, what's the bet here, Edward? Is it going back up to 20?
That's why you always keep some powder.
Dry. I've got some powder dry, but this stuff's $13 a share, which means I could buy maybe 4.
5 shares. 5 shares.
No, I could buy.
You know what? Look.
I could buy some, but I just don't. You know, what's the point if it's not meaningful?
It's not. You know, look at.
It's got to be gut wrenching or.
I think if whether you buy it or not, I think the fact is if you say it's a buy and it goes up.
We can't say it's a buy or a sell.
No,
we're not analysts.
No, we think it's a buy or sell.
Well, we either buy or we sell.
Or we can say we think it's a buy.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say I'm going to buy it or I'm going to sell it. But if I say I think, that might be interpreted as advice.
No, but you're not giving advice. You're not giving advice.
You just gave me advice.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying this is what I think. Big difference.
Okay.
I'm not saying buy.
Let's hope the regulators agree.
Hey.
First we'll let you.
You know, what is a regulator?
A regulator? Have you ever had a voltage regulator? Anyways, the humor today.
I'm having an irregulator.
We're going to pull up the spit it out, James. Can you tell I got 6 hours of sleep last night? We're going to look at the cannabis indexes, Midas Letter Canadian Cannabis Index, the large cap, 10 companies all trading above $500 million valuation. Where is it? Is my NDI not up? Is that what the excuse is here? No, my NDI is up. My NDI is up. What is wrong with the control room? There it is. Woo!
What do we got here? We got
what do you have for entertainment?
Down 2%,
so,
0.5%.
Large cap index down 1.82%.
Not a lot of action here. Not a lot of action.
It's basically irresolute to the downside.
You see where Tilray wants to raise another $400 million?
Wants to. They just did.
Well,
they issued a $400 million debenture.
Yeah,
with
but they didn't announce. They didn't announce the coupon, did they?
No, they didn't announce anything.
They said we'll announce that all. What? Don't they know?
As soon as our stock stays within $100 range for one day, then we'll figure out.
You know.
Well, that's just crazy, you know. So the total amount filed for their raises in privateer, they raised a total of first 150 million, then another 70 million or something like that. So they raised over 200 million if they filled both those financings, but because they were 144 exempt filings, they didn't have to state whether they completed, how much of the financing had completed. So that's why I was surprised to see them actually raise money even at this point.
Yeah.
But obviously, well, if not when your share
price... Are they raising
is,
it because they can get it?
Well, I think so. I think they're taking it, well...
In shrewd convertible... a shrewd convertible note.
Shrewd. Shrewd.
Is that like the taming of the shrewd?
Tilray offering the taming of the shrewd. Okay, look at that. 400 million in shrewd convertible senior note offering. Now,
Where, you know what? I was looking at the markets today. I got sucked into buying some NU today.
Oh, did you?
Well,
you know, the NU, we found out some interesting things about some people involved with that, so we're going to be exploring that in depth on another segment.
Okay.
But not today.
Not today, okay.
Not today.
Okay.
There's an investigation underway by our investigative team who live over there.
And here they come.
There.
And
Whoa,
here they come.
Look at these guys.
They're
bringing presents.
They're bringing in...
What do you got there,
They're
boys?
getting ready for They're getting ready for the legalization of marijuana.
Strange Love? Really? Yeah. Ooh, we shouldn't talk about that yet, should we?
Is that our new product?
That's our new product. Uh-oh, the cameras don't spin. No control on the NDI cameras or what in there?
NDI.
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 Poke you right in the eye.
NDI.
I'm going to poke you in the eye.
Okay.
Anyways,
look
back
at
to our
Tilray,
regular
down
scheduled
883.
programming.
Emerald Health
883.
down 420.
Like, look at that chart.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so let's see. I want to see why Ben thinks it's
I think
shrewd.
if we see a stock, let's just say this statement without pointing any fingers. If we see a stock trade an inordinate amount of volume relative to the number of shares, like for instance,
company that's got 20 million shares out trades 80 million shares. It's what WTF.
Well, or if it's got 100 million and it trades 25 in a day, and that sticks out like a sore thumb, you got to ask yourself,
really?
Something going on here. I mean, something. Is there a bit of a? I don't know. Well, I don't want to say.
Should we call it a cartel?
Cabal.
A cabal, not a
ball.
Not a Costa
It's a strike, or is it a ball? It's a cabal.
It's a thumb across the nose.
I don't know.
Costa Nostra.
Okay.
Okay, so Tilray, look at this. Countdown is on, Ed. Did you see this? This is our new countdown clock here to legalization, October 17th.
Wow.
We're going to be throwing a big party. And if you are in Toronto on the 17th of October, please send us a note, and we will get you into our big party. But it's going to be a bone shaker. I can guarantee you that. Going to be smoking lots of weed.
5-year notes, placement, blah 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 blah. Initial purchaser of the notes can buy more.
So there were terms. Notes due 2023 via private placement to qualified. What?
Some terms.
Company intends to offer, subject to market, 400 million aggregate principal amount of convertible notes due 2023. Okay, so they're 5-year notes. Qualified institutional buyers pursuant to Rule 144A, so only accredited. Institutional notes will be granted an option to purchase an additional 60 million. That's a green shoe for the agent. Notes will be senior unsecured obligations. Unsecured. That to me is...
Look at this little... the notes will be convertible into cash. Company Class 2 common shares or a combination of cash at Tilray's election. Therefore, the notes are not necessarily dilutive in the near or long term.
Wow. I guess that's the
okay, but it will
part.
cost tens of millions by way of semi-annual coupon payments or equity. So look, it's going to be an expensive financing, because...
I like this line of Ben's. He says, the company announced they intend to offer 400 million in a senior convertible notes, thus minimizing the blunt force trauma a straight equity placement would entail at current prices.
Exactly.
Well said, Benjamin. Well said. Anyways, Ben, that's a piece from Ben Smith on our site today. Ben is our senior writer, and he's let me just say, I think he's got his finger on the pulse.
Ben wrote the commentary we just were reading.
Yeah.
So is he saying? Is he come to a conclusion at the end of it?
Well, let's see what he concludes.
Because we sort of.
Well, he's making quite a nuanced argument here. Like, if you look at it, it's quite nuanced. There's very many. The devil is in the details, I guess. Let's see what he concludes. Granted, Tilray is a whole different animal when it comes to excessive and rapid valuation, but for detractors, who believe Tilray is destined to fall following the transaction. He believes a more measured assessment of the situation is warranted.
Okay.
While the
Okay.
news is not
I think
particularly bullish for the stock in the short term,
I'm glad we read that.
the offering is less than 2.5% of Tilray total market cap. Therefore, important to keep that context in mind. Well said, Ben.
Thanks,
well
Ben.
said.
Ben?
Ben, 2 thumbs up, Ben. Now,
Ben.
don't. That might constitute another raise, but don't get your hopes up. Anyways, we got to get you back in here, Ben. We got to get you back on the show.
Okay, okay.
All right, so let's
There goes
see what
Royal
else we got
Nickel
to talk about.
running across the table.
Royal Nickel, that
down
thing
8
got
cents.
the shit kicked out of it today again.
My bum is
Like
sore.
there's one of those stocks,
My
super
bum
liquid,
is sore.
basically hand mining $28 million worth of gold every week. It's like, Jesus, look, there goes the investment banker trying to sneak out.
There's so much gold in there that you know what? Gold's going down because they found so much.
Yeah, gold's going down because they found so much.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Ed.
No.
That's a good one.
Oh.
But
Okay.
So let's test your gold knowledge. How many tons of gold have been mined and remain above ground in investment form, i.e., bullion, coin, or other?
I think it fills 2 Olympic-sized pools.
How much is that?
Well,
How many tons?
how big's an Olympic-sized pool?
How long is a piece of string? Anyways, that's a
No,
good one.
there's not that much gold in the world. Like there really isn't.
I know.
Like
Did you see the piece in Barron's? Gold
Yeah.
is cheap. Sprott actually emailed it out to everybody just to make
it's
it
cheap. It is cheap, but it can stay cheap a lot longer than you and I can remain solvent.
That's
if we're
true.
not careful.
If we're not careful. Even if we are careful.
Even
Ed.
if we are careful.
That's right. So let's look at some
Okay,
of our
let's-
favorite issuers today.
Look at the Midas Letter CSE is up 10%.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
0.43%.
Well,
So it's at least
it's
got
up
some
9 points. Sorry, I'm looking at that.
FSD trading sideways today.
Yeah, but it's been punished a bit here.
Yeah, volume only 7 million shares.
Terra ascend another new high.
You know why it's so light today
Why?
in volumes? Because
I know.
it's Thanksgiving weekend.
You know what? And you know what? Today I couldn't. I was going to take the 11 o'clock train to come into Toronto.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
Sold out.
Sold out.
Why?
Why?
Students going home.
No.
Students.
'Cause
you think
London
they're
is a
waiting?
school
You think they're
town.
waiting for Friday?
No.
No.
It's gonna skip school. Head
No.
home.
Take Friday off. Let's go.
Well, isn't this the
In
weekend where
fact-
guys
in
go
fact-
back to their hometowns
Yeah.
and announce to
And-
their
and a lot
summer
of-
girlfriends that, sorry, babe, it's over. I've just met the woman of
You
my
know?
dreams at
Okay. Do
university.
you know this? Like they always, Playboy used to publish the top 10 party universities in the world.
Right.
There was only one Canadian university that made that list.
Where?
London, Ontario, University of Western Ontario.
Really? Western.
Number 4.
Number
Boulder,
4 on the
Colorado
list.
was number 1.
Which one? Boulder, Colorado?
UWO's on there, and a lot of the wealthy people from Toronto send their kids to London. Get down there and get an education, even if it means drinking lots of beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact, and a lot of these kids are back to Toronto today. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there was noticeably a lot of youngsters on the train today.
Oh, yeah? Coming down to load up on cocaine and ecstasy and fentanyl.
Jesus, soft.
Anyways, look at the biggest loser on the CSE today is Eviana Health Corporation.
What's the ticker on that little baby?
EHC. Oh, it's down 11% on a grand total of 31,000 shares.
Wow,
Boy,
flying.
they don't have a market maker. We should talk to them about our market making pal and get him that contract.
Yeah.
Tidal Royalty Corp. This is interesting. So this is the twins put this deal together, and they put Paul Rosen at the helm. PharmaCann, former Paul Rosen, that actually was the foundation of Cronos. Just saying. Doesn't
What
seem
is
to
that
be,
doing?
Well, it's sucking hind tit. Look at it. 17
You know,
cents.
the runt is usually relegated to the hind
Well,
tip.
that's a metaphor.
And why do you
for the
think
runt.
he's the runt?
Because he's always getting stuck on the hind tit.
Does the hind tit not flow as well?
Not as much juice back there.
Whew.
Yeah, no, you want one of the 4 tits. if you're a young suckling pig, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
I wonder what mammal has the most number of teats.
Tits.
Teats.
It's pronounced
It's
tits.
teats,
It's
actually.
spelled teats,
No,
but it's pronounced
in
tits.
the farm world, it's teat.
No.
It's
Tit.
teat.
Ed, don't be a twat. It's teat. Tit.
Choose your words carefully, my friend.
Is that a politically incorrect statement? Oh, God.
Teats.
We're not
Teats.
supposed to break ourselves up like this.
The cows have teats.
Cows have udders.
This is utterly.
This is one tit. This is my udder tit. I got two udder tits. Which now you notice cows, they don't have four calves, so there's not a calf sucking hind tit because there's only four tits and they're all in the back.
They don't they never have quadruplets.
No, exactly.
So why do they have four?
Well, I don't know. In case one, I don't know, gets
Think
clogged.
about that. Maybe nature's made a mistake somewhere along the line.
They got four stomachs.
And for instance, what happens if a woman has triplets?
She has to grow another tit.
No, she doesn't have to do that.
No, you've never seen a three-tit
rotate, rotate.
Okay, let's see what actually did well on the CSE.
You know what wolf fat is? Wolf fat?
Wolf fat?
Wolf fat.
It's a hat that's the head of a wolf.
No, wolf fat, and this is a crossword definition.
Yeah.
Wolf fat. If you see that clue, the answer is lanolin. And
right. The fat that is secreted by the lamb's skin and its wool.
Sebaceous.
I thought you were saying wolf hat.
Wolf. So you know what one of the uses for lanolin wolf fat is? When a woman, when a woman who's breastfeeding,
yes,
and let's say she's breastfeeding a lot, her nipples get dry and crack a bit, they like to supply a little lanolin.
And just this conversation's going.
No, I'm not making this up. This is real.
No, but this is okay. What value is this to a retail cannabis investor?
I found it interesting, so I want you to know I'm learning all the time.
All right,
let's go.
You know what? We got to reset this.
Reset.
We're going to go talk about some esports gaming. Here's Menashe Kestenbaum, CEO of Enthusiast Gaming Holdings. We had this conversation with him just a little while ago. Hey, welcome back. My guest in this segment is Menashe Kestenbaum. He's the CEO of Enthusiast Gaming Holdings, trading on the TSX Venture as of today under the symbol EGLX. Menashe, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Menashe, can we start with an overview? What is exactly esports and e-gaming?
Sure. Esports is, think of real sports or classic sports that everyone knows. Baseball, basketball, football. Mm-hmm. But instead of having physical activity running around, it's all done virtually inside of a video game. What that enables is that you could do all kinds of crazy stuff. The sky is the limit to what's possible, the type of stadiums that could be created, the type of games and gameplay mechanics. And this has been going on for a while now in underground and smaller scenes, but recently it's reached the mainstream and it's just getting larger and larger support. I think you're going to see it being something massive in this industry very soon.
So this means people are competing in a sort of forum environment on games like Xbox and Wii and these various things?
Yeah. Well, let's take computer, for example. So imagine you have been playing a Pee Wee hockey game, right? You've played it at home, and then maybe you've taken a little bit more professionally and really put time into it, and you got really good. And then you start to weed out the people who are kind of B-level, and you get to the A-level players, and there the skill is unprecedented, and quick thinking, strategy. Now, take all of that and put it into video games where you have, let's say, a game that 30 million people are playing. Now, out of those 30 million people, you're going to have those who are almost Pee Wee level or Bantam League, the minor leagues, and then you're going to have people who are really world class. And if you have heard of Twitch, where people could watch other people playing, it's actually something people are just fascinated by. There's more people watching gaming than actually playing gaming. Oh. So people sit and stare at these world-class gamers playing all day, and there's big prize money and leagues cropping up from big companies trying to create this new model, which I think is going to eclipse traditional gaming.
Interesting. So what would you say is the global sort of value of the marketplace?
Well, the figure that they give right now is that 1 billion people in the world are gamers right now. So
like 1/6 or 7.
1/7 of the world, I think they're saying. So the entertainment sector just in North America.
Down and get some lanolin. Just kidding. Wolf fat. Look at that's a beautiful city.
That is a beautiful skyline.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, well, that didn't really pan out. Looks like our little device there is having some kind of, probably needs a little lanolin to lubricate something in there because it's...
Lanolin works.
Did you see that? It's getting all jammed up. We apologize for that little technical bullshit, but we're going to have to come back to Menashe Kestenbaum, and we will rerun that later in the show if we can figure out what the fuck is going on with our equipment in there. Anyways, not the fault of our technologists, it's the fault of the equipment we've got, and it's the fault of the people who designed it because we don't think they've given it enough bandwidth. Ed, are you here?
I'm here. I'm just looking at stock quotes.
Anyways, there was a gentleman here, or perhaps a gentlewoman, Matt Carpenter, definitely a guy. Have you ever heard of a woman named Matt? No. Okay.
No.
Anyways, Matt says, James and Ed, do you dabble in consumer discretionary stocks? Question mark. Thoughts on Cineplex, CGX. Cineplex. Here's my thought on Cineplex as a fundamental kind of guy. Like, when was the last time anybody ever went to the theater to watch a movie?
People go, but that is waning, isn't it? That
well, that's
whole,
what I'm thinking.
Because I mean, there's so many different ways to watch a movie.
Well, here's the single thought. Well, how popular was going to the drive-in theater back in 1960?
Very popular.
And how many drive-in theaters were there? They were all over the place.
Everywhere.
And now here we are, fast forward 60 years. How many drive-in theaters do you see now?
One.
Zippo bippo. So if you're asking me what do I think of CGX, sell the motherfucker unless they got some other plan. I don't see how that thing's ever going to be a long-term play.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's an intraday trade. I don't know enough about it. So actually, I don't know anything. Don't listen to me. We're not to be trusted.
You know
here.
what? Fads come and they go.
Fads come and go?
I think...
that's what makes a fad.
You know what used to bother me about going to the theater was there was always people in there making noise while you're trying to watch the movie.
Yeah, you know what? People are clamoring for an update on Juju. Should I give Steve a call and see if he'll talk to us on the show?
Well, it's 23, down a penny and a half, your last trade. I think it's just had a big run and there's some profit taking, and I think if the whole market comes back, I would like to think that...
Glenn Treek, we will milk you. He wants to be milked. He has teats. Who's going to the store October 17th? Who's going to become the store October 17th?
We're having a party October 17th.
We're having a party October 17th, but do you think that the audience here gathered would be interested in Midas Letter Select cannabis products, where we actually choose the best of all the cannabis products that we get to sample and say, this has our blessing, and now we're going to put our label on it, and we're going to sell it as cannabis. See, my mother always said, Jimmy, you're nothing but a goddamn drug dealer. And she was right. But who would have thought that it would actually be legal? I always thought it was unfair that it was illegal, so it didn't really stop me. And now the government has finally agreed. So how about that? It's not very often the government agrees with you. So and says, you know what, James, you're right. We're going to change things. You've always been right.
Is there anybody sitting in prison in Canada for doing something with marijuana that's going to be released the day it becomes legal?
Ooh.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
you mean, is anybody languishing
incarcerated
in jail,
right now,
rotting away in prison?
That wouldn't be incarcerated
if the laws. Yeah, there's a bunch of people.
So they're going to get released on the...
No, they're going to get shot.
Shock the monkey?
Shock the monkey. No, the reality is that I don't know if there are any Canadians in jail. I know there are
Americans.
Loads of Americans. Loads of Americans are languishing in prison for
loads of Americans
marijuana crimes.
Related to Jay and the Americans?
I don't know. I don't even know what Jay and the Americans is.
You know Jay and the Americans?
No.
It's a band.
Never heard of them.
Come on. Jay and the Americans?
Never heard of them. Are they like from the 40s or something?
Are you suggesting that I'm a little older than you?
Well, you were making a comment that the last time you were riding around on your in your trolley or your what do they call those fancy carts that the horses pull?
Buggies.
Buggies. Last time you were riding around in your buggy, you were having a good laugh. Anyways, so no, we don't play consumer discretionary generally. As long as there's a cannabis market on, why would you? Let's see. Jonathan G. Technical analysis on TRUL.
Well, very difficult. It's only been trading for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, and what's the deal with TRUL?
Well, anyways? TRL came out at 9 or 10. I don't know what the It's similar. The structure is similar to the Tilray.
Okay.
You know, not many shares that are free trading just yet.
Is this something we should be looking at on a chart?
Well, we can look at it. I've looked at it a few times.
TRUL.
It's moved from 9.5, I think, to 24.
Trulieve Cannabis Corp.
Yeah, and I think now it's about $18, if I'm not mistaken.
What? Like, what the hell?
Like, wait, did you miss this one?
Thing, well, it comes out at $10 and rocks up to 20, like, and nobody even sent me an email.
Well, we talked about it. Where were you?
I don't know. Where was I? Jamaica,
down 8% today. Not looking so good.
Well, let's do a quick fundamental analysis on this. And
how many shares outstanding, for instance?
Let's see.
Market cap's 138.
Shares out, 7.5 million.
That's it?
That's it. 7.5 million.
I wonder how many are free trading. Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if that's accurate, though. Very often the shares displayed on the small caps is not accurate post all transactions, so we'd have to go read some regulatory documents on that. But my first impression, it's expensive. It's expensive. And it's...
market cap's 140.
Yeah. It's expensive, and volume, 1.4 million. So it's got 7.5 million. Well, that can't be right. Anyway,
no, what do you mean? Where do you see 1.4 million?
Well, right.
Oh, volume 1.42. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 1,000,004. Yeah. Yeah.
Should we do a quick? Let's go to CDAR, and we'll pull up CDAR, and let's see what we can find out about Trulieve here. Oh, here's us watching them watching us. 110. Oh, Rob L. See, this is our audience is often better informed than we are. Rob L says it's 110 million fully diluted.
Wow, that's
a $700 million market cap.
No, 110 times 10
is
times 20 is 2 billion.
1 billion. Whoa! $2 billion.
2 billion.
Dan S says he wants Ed to do a segment of tech evaluations on charts and call out technical patterns. Yes, we know the sector patterns are hard to read technically.
I'd be willing to do it.
Really?
It's in some bar late at night.
So I was going to say, that sounds like some boring
where there's a menu on the wall, and I can rub off the menu and then do some chart analysis.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? Look. Certainly, if history doesn't repeat itself, it certainly rhymes.
Yeah. Wow. Errol Potok says lots of pumpers. Where's lots of pumpers, Errol? On our chat room? There better not be. We'll boot their asses off there.
There's you know what? Look.
So this is it. Everybody goes on here and just starts. We should. No, maybe we shouldn't. Anyways, it's interesting. I'm going to pull up a CDAR chart on Trulieve now and see. I don't know, but that's going to be too cumbersome. Okay, you know what we're going to do?
If it's fully diluted, 100 million. I mean, that tells you right now that's a $2 billion company.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to roll the interview with William MacLean, CEO of Wildflower Brands Inc, CSC traded
Bill MacLean?
SUN. Bill MacLean. And this is what he had to say. A little choppy. Hey, welcome back. My guest this segment is William MacLean. He's the CEO of Wildflower Brands Inc, trading on the CSE under the symbol SUN. William, welcome to the show.
Thanks, James.
We've chatted before, and it looks like you've made some great progress since we last chatted. October 4, you announced that you'd seen a 300% growth in online sales. Tell me about the business again, just to refresh the audience's memory, and what's the essence and nature of your sales?
Well, essentially our business now has pivoted a little bit. We were always focused on creating wellness products, mainly CBD based. We do have THC based and cannabis products in regulated markets in the U.S. Most of our business is in the U.S. right now. We're in about 150 stores in Washington.
Okay.
We're in over 70 stores that are just holistic wellness stores nationwide, and we're in 20 some odd stores in the California marketplace.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're going to be in Canada and the U.S.?
That's the idea.
Huh. That must make it interesting to cross the border.
It does.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so you are creating products that you grow the cannabis yourself, or you acquire the products from or you make the products from cannabis supplied by other growers, or what? How exactly? What's sort of the line of products?
Well, it depends on the product. We have products in the regulated market, for example, and those products come from licensed growers or partners in those markets. In California, we've also acquired licenses to do that as well. But our main focus is creating products. So our CBD-based products sell online. Hemp comes in from Europe, and then it's extracted in the U.S., and then we're able to then sell it online in various states. By importing, we avoid the state level legislation that make interstate commerce very difficult.
Interesting. And how is it that you became listed on the Horizons Index ETF?
In all honesty, they just listed us. I have no idea. We're
Really?
building a company here and moving the business model forward, and that's something that just happened.
Huh. Wow. Okay. So then you say that your sales have grown online by 300% in a year. In most provinces in Canada, you can't sell recreational products online, can you?
No, you can't.
Okay, so that's
one of the main reasons we focus in the wellness sector, CBD. That market for us, we feel, is much larger than the cannabis market. If you look at the nutraceutical industry last year, you're north of $260 billion. So that's really the market that we're going after. And as you can tell by the new products that are emerging in the marketplace, that there's a huge movement right now to start focusing on holistic health and more plant-based remedies versus pharmaceutical type products.
Right. Do you think that the movement in CBD legislation around the world is trending towards a complete descheduling in terms of consumption, or is it as an ingredient in foods, or is it more just a rescheduling to a lesser sort of controlled state?
Well, if you look at some of the international bodies, for example, like the World Anti-Doping Association or the Olympic Committee, they've all descheduled CBD. Even the World Health Organization has recommended all developed nations to deschedule CBD. So there's definitely
Right. So do you see movement towards growing sort of hemp as opposed to premium flower in Canada on a larger scale outdoors as the rules change, and thereby lowering the input costs of the CBD as an ingredient?
Well, Canada is the second largest hemp producing nation in the world.
Oh.
So it just hasn't been legal to extract the CBD from the plant. So what we really see happening in the marketplace is the active ingredient becoming more readily available and allowing us to provide more value to the customer with it. It's 80% of our input cost now is the CBD.
Interesting. So will you move into recreational products more after October 17th, or are you going to stay focused on the wellness?
Well, the reason we changed our company's name to Wildflower Brands is we started acquiring companies that are both in the wellness sector and also in the regulated cannabis sector. And so we really wanted to differentiate the various companies that are working on that side or the other. So if you look at our California acquisition of extracts, that's solely a THC-based company. Mm-hmm. So any product that we would like to introduce to that market, we could definitely introduce it under that brand. The idea is really to separate Wildflower Wellness from the recreation.
Okay. And so your retail works, your LOI with retail works, is that a definitive agreement at this point? And is that sort of key to your U.S. strategy, is having physical stores in the U.S.?
We weren't looking at retail stores as a strategy for us. We really look at this as a big marketing opportunity to introduce our products to a really large audience. The Manhattan marketplace is very trendy. They are the ones that start a lot of these movements, and we feel like that's just the right move at the point in time from a marketing perspective.
Right.
We do want to start really pushing our online sales as we see this organic growth happen naturally. And we feel like having a brick and mortar presence in some of these major markets to help support those online sales is a big strategy. But we're not looking at having hundreds of stores all over the place.
Right.
We're just talking 1 or 2 stores in every major market.
Sure. Okay, that's great. Great update, William. We're going to leave it there for now. We'll come back to you in a quarter's time. Thanks for the update.
Young fella.
All right, we are known? Nah. Really? Oh, how about that?
How about that? How about that, sports fans?
Yeah, so there you have it. Wildflower
what are you thinking?
Brands. Well, it sounds to me like anybody who's not going to be in the cannabis growing business is going to have better numbers than somebody who is in the cannabis growing business when it all starts to go pear-shaped. Because...
Pear-shaped.
Pear-shaped.
It's an interesting shape, the pear, isn't it?
It's a uniquely shaped fruit in the world, one of.
Is it?
Well, that and the star fruit, the jackfruit.
Well, I guess they're all kind of unique, aren't they?
Pineapple. Well, apple's kind of boring. There's a lot of things that look like
Is
they
it
could be an apple.
pineapple or pineapple?
Pie and apple. So it's basically
No,
an apple
it's
pie.
not pie and apple. It's pine and apple or pie and apple.
What are you, Professor Kitzel?
Professor
I don't
Kitzel.
think so. Anyways,
Okay.
so yeah, so that's what I like about the Wildflower is that they're more focused on consumer packaged goods, which is the buzzword of the quarter. I would say CPG. Even it's become what do you call that when you reduce something to a set of initials? My brain is just fried today.
It's some kind of gram. Anagram.
Something like that.
No. Anagram.
Anyways,
I
so
think,
I was having a couple of drinks with Steve Meisner last night, who, as you know, is one of the most revered fund managers in the country for many years. And Steve,
now he's gone from fund managing to fun managing.
right, in retire. That's very clever, Ed.
He dropped the D and he said, "You know what? There's too many letters in my title here. I'm going to drop the D."
Yes.
And he became a fund manager.
Fund manager.
He likes to have fun.
The director of social events.
I kind of like Steve because he's unique and he's his own man.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really give a shit what anybody thinks, right?
Acronym. Thank you, Jonathan G. Acronym.
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 Acronym. Acronym.
Acrimonious.
Acrimonious.
Are you being acrimonious with me?
To you.
To me.
To you.
To you.
Happy birthday to you.
So what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
So Steve Meisner, CFA, is going to be co-hosting with Ed here next week. Steve is an analytical brain.
Steve is
He's the man about town.
smart guy.
He's got some stories. A little politically difficult sometimes. We won't go there, though. Yeah, so there you have it. What else are we going to talk about today, Ed?
Well, let's look at some of these specific stocks that, you know, I got to be honest with you.
Okay. We're just starting now? You mean you haven't been so far? What are you saying, Ed?
What?
You said I got to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nothing slow about you today.
Yeah, okay. I talked to some of my homies today.
Your homies?
Some of my homies.
You got some homies back in London?
No, homies. I'm a citizen of the world, so anywhere I go, I can talk to homies.
So you mean like...
This is my home right now.
Retirement homes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they got those all over the world.
And, you know, quite often the people in the retired homes say, "Ed, could you pass me the butter?"
Pass you the bong. So, you know, on the party, we're going to have Jason from Maui, who's making the world's biggest bongs. I got to think Maui's got to be a nice place to live. Like, he lives in that little neighborhood there. He's got Woody Harrelson, Willie Nelson.
In Maui?
Owen Wilson. They all live in the same little neighborhood and play poker together all the time, apparently, I was told.
Really?
Yeah. 12 days, 8 hours, and 15 minutes until cannabis is legal, Ed. You know what? I can't handle it. I'm going to Vancouver this weekend because I just can't handle it. I can't handle it.
You know what you should do?
What?
When you're through in Vancouver,
what?
Head over to the International Date Line, and you'll be the first person, like when the thing moves into October the 17th, even though you're not in Canada, it'll be legal for you.
That's a long way to go just to be first.
Yeah, but is that something?
No, I'm not. Being first is not
okay. How about
ever
last?
really that important to me. I don't mind being last. I just don't mind. I don't care.
Okay.
As long as I'm there.
So let's look at somewhere where the action is here. I liked it.
All right. Well,
like
True Leaf.
Let's see where some of
this
the
is
action
this isn't a conundrum. So we're going to take a deep dive on True Leaf. Somebody said that they had 18.5 million EBITDA in the last quarter. So that is kind of what EBITDA?
EBITDA. That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization.
That's right.
Yeah,
But
that is right.
I wasn't saying
You
EBITDA.
think they 18 million EBITDA in the quarter? Wow, that's big.
18. This is what representation by somebody in our chat group.
Well, let's hope they're not wrong.
Well, let's find out if they're right. How about that?
I've been reading that too.
Really?
Earnings like
Fraser confirms.
no, it like revenue for the year is something like
Fraser's calling a buy.
What's the
on
revenue
True
for the
Leaf.
year?
something like 80 million.
Oh, okay.
80 million.
So 18.5 million EBITDA and 80 million in sales.
No, and for the
Where the hell they selling their weed? What they're
they're apparently the highest revenue among publicly traded LPs.
Get the fuck!
Maybe like that's what it looks like.
Well, how come they don't call us and like? Don't they want to tell people? Don't they want their share price to go up? Hey,
It looks
True
like
Leaf,
it's already gone up.
got some news for you here. Most watched cannabis investment channel on the planet. You might want to give us a call and come on in here. Come on in here and tell us about your company because we've never heard of it before and apparently even our audience has. That just ain't right. Anyways, looking at other cannabis companies today, Pivot Pharmaceuticals ordinary shares up a smashing 19.75%, but
Yeah, 8 cents.
8 cents.
What's the volume there? Let's take a look at the
all
volume.
right. Let's looking at the volume. 286,000. That's not bad.
Well,
That's respectable.
Sprout.
Marafarm jumped 15.2%, but that's only 4 cents to 27 cents. Wah, wah.
Well, I'd be curious to see if any of these
Sproutly.
big movers has big volume. Big volume.
Sproutly is our client.
Million shares there.
SPR. You know what?
It's nice volume.
Yeah, market cap 125 million. You know what they do?
Lexaria.
You know what they do, Ed? Sproutly?
I think NU is involved with Lexaria. Go ahead.
No, Sproutly is the company that says that it is the only company that really makes cannabinoids water soluble. All of the other companies that are calling their cannabinoid water soluble ingredients
Right.
water soluble are in fact miscible, not soluble.
You know what? Sproutly should merge with Tetley. I'm just saying. Tetley tea.
Anyways, we're going down there to shoot some footage at their project
Shoot
in
some pool.
Florida.
You and others shoot some pool.
We're going to. Did I mention they're a client, Ed?
Okay. Okay, back off it. I get it.
Right.
Speak English.
Right. We only make fun of companies who
I'm not
aren't
making
our
fun.
clients.
I'm just thinking.
Oh, no, you're not.
Blisco Cannabis.
Hate to see what happens when you do make fun. Boy. Let's see. Who else had a bit of a lift here
I
tonight?
like the Tree of Knowledge International Corp's ticker, Toki. Let's have a
Toki, Tree of
Toki.
Knowledge International Corp.
yeah, Toki.
What does that mean?
Let's go outside.
Tree of
and-
Knowledge International
Let's
Corp.
have a little Toki.
$53 million market cap. I don't know what they do. Let's click on their symbol and go see if they have any press releases we can read. Survey says, yeah, Tree of Knowledge Corp announces new advisory board. Remember, that'll be a boring press release. What? Tree of Knowledge defines its partnership with Dr. Sanjay
Oh, that was the one.
Gupta.
Remember, that was the company that there was two Sanjays.
Well, there's the real Sanjay Gupta, and apparently this
Well,
guy, who's also Sanjay Gupta.
Now, wait a minute now. What if there was another Ed Milewski? Who would be the real Ed Milewski?
Well, that would be you, obviously.
no, that we'd both be real.
No.
Yes.
Only the most famous one is the real.
No,
Well,
I
the real
disagree.
Ed Milewski. Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. No, we won't go there today, Ed. No rapping in the house music department today. Anyways, have you checked out my new favorite comedian, Daniel Sloss, yet?
Nope.
Oh, I think
No.
that's going to be required watching for all of us because it is so freaking funny. Seriously, yeah, it's so funny and it's so dark that I can't even attempt to repeat some of this guy's fucking
Jesus.
jokes. They're just great. Anyways, Dr. Gupta, this Dr. Gupta is not the Dr. Sanjay Gupta. So when I say
Well, he is the. He
is a Dr. Gupta, but he's not the Dr. Gupta.
Well, how do you know that? Maybe
Because-
in his mind he is.
Does he have a program on CNN? Is he the nation's doctor down there in the South?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But he is a Harvard-trained pain specialist and president of the American Pain Association. So he's no slouch. He just doesn't have a CNN program. Anyways, we could have fun with that all day long. We should get these guys in here. We should get Dr. Sanjay Gupta in here, the other Dr. Sanjay Gupta. That's what we're going to do. Note to selves. Oh, Suzanne's not here. She's at school. Anyways, Michael Caridi and Daniel Caridi. Father and son team, perhaps?
Yeah, I would think so. Daniel's the assistant.
Right. Oh,
Michael's
it's a Vancouver deal. I'm going to be in Vancouver tomorrow. Hey.
Why don't you say, hey.
If you guys, Michael Caridi or Daniel Caridi, are around, let's have a meeting. Or maybe Rahim Rajwani, and he's with North Bay Capital Partners. Very cool. We'll take a look into that one. Liberty Health Sciences today had a lift. Did you notice that?
Well, the LXX had a big move too.
No, it's down. $1.42, down 3 cents.
No, but LXX. Look up LXS. LXX.
LXX?
Isn't that the company that's involved with NU?
LXX, you know, the problem I have with LXX is that's the company that was identified by the SEC as being, it has a little bullhorn beside its symbol on the OTC bulletin board website, because apparently they spent a little bit too much on promotional.
Okay, but let's put up LXX. Let's just see what it looks like. I want, because it's up big.
LXX. Where do we find that? Over here. I'm really kind of dopey today. I only had 6 hours sleep.
But you're going to say, oh, it's 6 CBD pills.
Oh no, but I got my shipment of CBD this morning. That's why I'm not feeling too hungover to actually do something here today.
LXX.
262.
Look at this, up 32 cents. Is that not a move?
Eh.
How many shares in that little baby?
How many shares outstanding? Doesn't say
The
here.
race to speed up the effect. Wow, look at this.
What?
Liberty Health Sciences surge as Florida cannabis remaining high. That's not, I know, it's LXX, Lixaria.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm looking at Liberty Health Sciences. Why? They're our client too. Liberty Health, we're going down to be in Florida shooting lots of footage in, well, I'm going to try to gang that all up in like November or December. Friday night, rebranding as 1933 Industries. These are all the headlines. Cantab, how did Cantab do today? Let's check it out. What do you think?
Where's
Pill.
Suniva? Suniva, is it still flying?
Suniva, 554, 28 cents, up 28 cents today. There's Cantab.
Pill.
Rocked up to over $2. 214 is the high, and now it's back down to 152. Huh, guess a private placement came free trading maybe? Who knows? Investment pitch media.
There's a lot going on in this sector, there's no question. Did you read the article today about all the underwriting firms made a fortune on funding?
Well, so did we. You didn't know? Oops. I spilled the beans. Namaste, did you know that Andrew Left came out and doubled down on his attack on Namaste today? I got the email this morning from him. This thing's a scam. It's going to be halted by the TS. Like he's
sticking his neck out a bit.
He's sticking his neck out.
You know what? Listen, he's probably done a lot more due diligence.
Well, he's having an effect today.
Down a dime, but it had a big day yesterday. Let's take a look. Is that Namaste there?
Yeah.
Let's put it up on. Yeah.
So yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was closed at a.
I gotta say, this thing. You know what? If you're a shorter.
Yeah.
And let's say, and again, I'm just talking. This chart here has got this powerful base. We got the double top, not as high as here. This thing breaks this. There's a line here somewhere. I'm not drawing the line, but you know the short people are watching. If it breaks a certain level,
where's your computer that has the line drawing capabilities on it?
I know it's right in the thing.
Why don't you whip it out? We got like
okay. No. Ask one question at a time.
The computer.
One question at a time.
You know what?
Jeez, one request at a time.
I think that you misunderstood me there.
Oh, I don't think I did.
Whip out the computer, Ed, not your tool. See, nobody wants to see. Well, I could think probably maybe a couple people that still probably wouldn't mind. Never mind. This is going sideways.
Oldie but goodies.
Oldie but goodies. Okay.
Name that tune. I think if this thing breaks, I'll say right here. There's a line draw from there through here.
That's not a line, Ed. You just draw a squiggle.
I know. I'm just saying, listen.
Okay, tell you what.
Look at if this guy's got a bad piece of...
I'm going to help you out here, Ed.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up Namaste here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pull up the advanced charting tool.
What was the main reason for Andrew
to...
Leff's... look at this volume here. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Look at this thing. This thing's trading 10, 15 million shares a day.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Line. Thick line. All right. Now, can you talk about a line from where? From here?
You got to put up a little bigger chart here. Put up
bigger?
Yeah, like, well.
6 month? It's at 3 months. There's 6 months.
Okay. From here,
yeah.
You draw a line from there. That's your bottom point. Okay. That's your low point. And this is be another low point. That's when it lifted.
Okay.
So
Where's my line going?
Like right. Drop that down a bit. Maybe you've already. Yeah. Keep dropping it. Keep dropping it. Drop. Stop. Up. A little bit up. It just gives you an idea. Yeah. So when you break this line, okay. Now it means that you're going to leave a lot of the juice on the table because it's going to drop from 220 to $1.50. That's a third of the move. But if this thing's going to, what did he say? It's worth a quarter.
Yeah.
That's a bold move. But look at this volume. Look at this volume.
20 million. 23
this is
million.
every day for the last month and a half. Is that not distribution?
Distribution?
Well, because it's going the other way. Like, why is everybody getting in, and who's selling it? And this thing is...
Well, maybe a financing. Actually, so recall, they had a financing which was locked up. They had that pledge party, and now these are the people who obviously didn't go to the pledge party.
I'm going to say that because I'm not a fundamental person. I mean, I do read the odd thing, but I look at charts as a way of saying, I don't want to hear your story. The chart tells me what I need to know. This thing's been cut in half with big volume, and you got a guy in the U.S. saying there's trouble here. There's smoke, there's fire.
A guy in the U.S., you mean Andrew Left?
Yeah.
Yeah, a proven...
Well, I mean, look, he did also call the one drug company, and that gave him some probably...
yeah, but now, like the last... So if you put out a piece that calls a company a piece of crap and it's going to nothing, and you distribute it to 100,000 people, guaranteed some people are going to act on it. And you can look right for a day.
Look.
But if you're right about the whole thesis...
You put up the chart of I hear what you're saying, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but you put up a chart of Canopy, Afria, Terra, whatever it's called, the TER is the ticker. They're high. There's companies that are at their highs, and there's companies that are nowhere near their highs. What's the difference? I don't know. I'm not trying to look. I don't think this is a good-looking chart. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
So are you suggesting that independent of Andrew Left and Citron Research, this looks like it's going lower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it could bounce back to 3 first.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with trading, because it's one thing to take a position and stay with it. Like you'd have bought Canopy 3 years ago and you still owned it. Gee, just call me from my yacht.
What do you mean? I would have missed out on the $70 sell price if I still held it. I would have sold it at the top. I always do. I buy it at the bottom and I sell it at the top.
What's it like to be omnipotent?
Well, I could tell you, but then you'd know.
Omniscient.
Omniscient? Omniscient.
What's it like to be with any other letters behind it?
What day of this are you still on the wagon, Ed?
I'm back. I'm on. Yeah. No, I had to reboot. I started it on Sunday again. Yeah.
Oh, so Saturday was the woohoo!
I wasn't. You know what? It was more. I picked up some
broad
head. Some pot that was pretty strong.
Oh.
And it made me
so high.
Made me dopey that I decided I better stop doing that too.
Really?
Whoo!
Yeah?
Yeah,
Found yourself a real potent wheelchair?
Anyway, you know what?
Anyways,
I think that the whole fun is to be straight for a while and then not be straight for a while. And you go back and forth.
yeah, I've never been straight, so I wouldn't know. Okay, Leafs community. Sean promises a lot of things on YouTube. So there you go. They do have some issues, I would say, with forward-looking statements. Namaste.
They do.
Yeah, a little bit too liberal with the forward-looking statements. Liberal. Yeah, they're generous. Very generous.
Yeah, that's why I'm a conservative by nature.
You're a conservative?
Yeah.
You don't strike me as that conservative, Ed.
You know what? The truth is, I'm apolitical. I am apolitical.
I don't think so.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
How about what do you think of Donald Trump?
You said he's a human being.
You said he. That's good.
No, but that's what what we all are.
He's a human being.
We're all human beings.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're not a human being. If you're a
Well,
dog,
how do you know he's
for
a human
instance,
being?
If you're a dog, you're not a human being.
That's true because you're
You
a
don't
dog.
see dogs in politics, do you?
Well, yeah, I do. Roosevelt had a dog.
Yeah, but that's
Jimmy Carter had a dog.
Yeah, but they're not ruling.
They secretly, the
Yeah, I
dog
guess
is
they are.
whispering
That's right.
in the president's ear at night.
Bark once if you say
Better
press
lower
the
the
button for the bomb.
Lower the
twice.
tariffs on those Chinese beef bones, will you? Anyways, what's happening right now? So where did our market close
Where
bell
did
going?
our love
This
go?
guy in the audience is going ding ding ding. He's writing.
You know what? Thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you. That was Jeremy Girdler who promptly and
Thanks, Jeremy.
rather timely in a
Jeremy?
timely fashion noticed that we were behind the 8 ball here.
Okay, so yeah.
So we talked about Namaste. Got to put that in here. See, I'm trying to help.
What is now? Namaste is a word usually found when people are talking about inner peace, and
Namaste means thank you and hello in Nepalese. It's like Hawaiian
aloha.
aloha, or
Why did they just say
ciao.
aloha?
Ciao in Italian.
Chow down.
Ciao. Ciao, bella. Anyways, that reminds me, just saying that reminded me, I got to see my good old friend Dougie Hadfield out there on the left coast while I'm there.
Yeah.
Does James
So what'd
hold
you think?
Canopy
Hey,
Growth?
what'd
The
you
answer
think
to
of
that is
the,
no, I don't hold Canopy Growth.
overtime win by the Leafs yesterday? Pretty nifty, eh?
Leafs?
Yeah.
What are they?
Med relief.
Med Reliefs? They were in a game last night and
Yeah.
they won?
They.
Whoa!
Anybody did some
The Toronto Med Reliefs?
True Leaf.
True Leafs?
Yeah. What do you mean, what Leaf? You don't know what
$80 million
Leafs-
in
We're
revenue.
in the marijuana game here, and you don't know what Leafs are?
Well, we call them leaves.
Leaves.
Yeah, wouldn't they be the Maple Leaves?
If does he leaf you or does he leave you?
So would it be the Toronto Maple Leaves?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's
It's Maple Leaves.
And they won in overtime yesterday. How about that? Actually, I talked to different guys at the game at different points during the night. It was
Yeah.
quite funny. I was getting an update and I wasn't even watching.
And I'm still sober while you were talking to them?
Highly unlikely.
That's the problem with most of the guys that we know go to the games. You call them up and say, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm sitting here having a good time though.
Pat, my buddy Pat once went to an Argo game, and he was convinced they lost until the next day when he read that they had won it. They pulled it out at the
Uh-oh,
end.
somebody's giving me shit here.
Uh-oh.
Just so James knows, yesterday's comment of that a rumor from FB Group. Don't know
Facebook?
what he's talking about exactly. The podcast from ASUS with Martin Cronin. ASUS, who indicated that he has 10,000 qualified buyers for their product. Not fabricated. Well, thank you, Dan S. Feel free to throw the link to that in the chat box so we can go check it out because, you know, we don't know everything and some might say we don't know nothing, which is to say we know everything, which we don't.
I know one thing. I know nothing.
And
And you know who said that?
Who?
His
Plato.
mentor.
Socrates.
You know, do you remember that? Who came first?
Chicken or the egg?
Spa. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Spa. That's
Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Is that
Spa.
like a university Coles Notes kind of trick?
Yep. I took a course in philosophy.
I learned
that was
something.
the question they asked at the end. That's all they wanted to know.
So
I got it
Socrates first, Plato second, Aristotle third.
Well, wait a minute. Spa. S?
So what if you spell it backwards?
Asp. Apps.
Apps. Apps. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
apps. Have you got some apps on your phone?
I've got lots of apps. Lots of apps. So anyways, I think the point that Dan S. is trying to make that that some guys did a podcast with Martin Cronin who indicated that he has 10,000 qualified buyers for their product, not fabricated. I hope I didn't imply that it was fabricated. Did I?
I don't even remember.
Well, I remember I was amused because I thought it was coming off of a rumor, off of a chat, off of a series of comments on the Facebook investor page, but I was obviously not well informed, nor did I insinuate that I was. I thought I was making light of the situation.
That's why I'm a technical guy, because I think the picture that's developing day to day, sums up the whole thing.
Yeah?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The trend is your friend. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, that's like one of those silly investors. Look, there goes the Hirschberg posse. If you had rotating cameras, you'd be able to see them. The mysterious investor
check
group.
to see if your wallet's still
Yeah,
there.
right.
Oh, I got mine.
Buy high, sell higher.
Nice to see you, gentlemen.
Oh, look.
Looking very...
Hey,
whoa!
It's Cash Malone over there.
Look at this.
Boy, oh boy. All right, see you guys.
He walks in with nothing, he leaves with a bunch of cash.
Leaves with everything. Okay, it's a good thing overall, just sucks short term. Don't know what the hell they're talking about there. They won't let links laugh. Oh, you know what? We would love to let links, but something that YouTube does, and there's nothing we can do to help. Yes, the Facebook guys are pissed. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, chill the fuck out, motherfuckers. It's just a joke.
Facebook guys are pissed. No wonder they're pissed. Did you see the shit they got themselves into?
What kind of shit? Well, what?
Well, look, all the breaches. Let's put up a chart of Facebook, just out of curiosity. Just saying.
Facebook. No, they're talking about the Patriot One Investor Group on Facebook. So here's what I'm going to do. Just to hopefully get everybody chilled the fuck out and back on side. We're all friends here. I'm going to call up Martin Cronin and I'm going to get him in here for an interview. I think it's time. When was the last time we had Martin here? It was like back in March, I think.
Midas Letter RAW.
Midas Letter RAW. Ryan Jorgensen is asking, is YOLO coming this month? Damn straight YOLO's coming this month, bitches. And yes, we own it. And yes, they will probably be also
I think it's just time for a good joke that Donnie told us.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who dare?
I can't remember the joke.
Boy,
Donnie, tell us quickly
good
the joke about the knock, knock joke.
What makes you think Donnie's watching?
Didn't know you could yodel. Remember?
Oh!
What was the...
I don't remember.
Oh, here's one. Okay, say knock, knock.
No, you.
No, you say it.
No, you.
Come on. Come on, try it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's not funny, Ed. That's so... Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Quint Bridenstine says you need a new jacket.
Hey, I bet you I can make you turn your hands over. Okay?
Okay.
Put them out.
No.
No.
I'm not doing anything you
try it.
No.
Just try it.
No.
Come on.
We're going to cut to another interview now.
Let's do it quickly.
We're going to talk to Philip Campbell, who's the CEO of Ascent Industries, trading on the CSE under the symbol ASNT. And here we go. Hey, welcome back. My guest this segment is Philip Campbell. He is the CEO of Ascent Industries Corp, trading on the CSE under the symbol ASNT. Philip, welcome.
Thanks for having me, James.
Philip, we're going to start with the elephant in the room just to get it out of the way. There's some issue with Health Canada partially suspending some licensing with one of your subsidiaries. Can you give us an overview of what happened and how you're going to deal with it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, first and foremost, Ascent Industries takes regulatory compliance very seriously, and this is obviously not something that we're very proud of, and it's something that we're going to remedy very quickly. To go over the incident, what happened is we had a surprise inspection from Health Canada at Agrima Botanicals, our wholly owned licensed producer, in August. And during that inspection, it was clear that there were some deficiencies that needed to be addressed. Unfortunately, last week, we were notified that our licenses were going to be partially suspended. In response to that inspection, we had already actually implemented a strategy to address some of the deficiencies that came up during the inspection. So we'd already begun to hire some highly qualified pharmaceutical experts to be able to help to bolster our team, especially in the quality assurance and regulatory compliance department of our company. So, you know, we do take compliance very seriously. We are actively looking at everything to ensure that this never ever happens again. We're going to continue to keep our shareholders and the investment community apprised of any updates as they become available, as we have been doing. We're going to be transparent about this process and work very hard to ensure that we get those licenses reinstated and stay fully compliant with Health Canada's expectations and ensure that this never happens again.
Interesting. Okay, so safe to say then that this is a temporary phenomenon and we'll attribute it to growing pains.
Yeah, we definitely see it that way. We're going to hopefully look back on this in a few years from now and see it as something that made our company stronger and that we're able to persevere through this. And you know, we do look forward to getting our licenses fully reinstated so that we can continue to develop our business.
Sure. Okay, so tell me about the Ascent Industries business model and the business of its subsidiary Agrima Botanicals.
Sure. So Agrima is a global cannabis company. So we're one of the few companies that's licensed in the United States and in Canada. We focus on brands, consumer packaged goods, and science. So those are some of the core tenets of the business that we focus on. Agrima Botanicals is our wholly owned subsidiary. It's a licensed producer in Canada. So we have a cultivation license, an oil extraction license, and a dealer's license. So we're one of just a few companies that hold all of those licenses. The goal of Agrima is to produce very high quality products, both flower and especially oil products. And so we want to be able to access the Canadian market with those products as well as international markets. That's why we've applied for licensing in Denmark, so that we can export those products we manufacture here in Canada into the Danish market, and then be able to service that domestic market in Denmark, and also to use that as a landing point into Europe to then export into other markets as they become available.
Sure. So as an EU member, I guess it doesn't really matter where you start. You can distribute pretty easily to the rest of Europe.
That's right. They do have the ability to, once you've been approved for European good manufacturing practices with the Danish Medicines Agency, that's also transferable to other countries within the European Union. So we'll be able to use that certification to be able to export those products throughout the rest of Europe as new markets open up. You know, Germany is legal already. The United Kingdom just announced recently that they're going to legalize. So there's a lot of opportunities there, 750 million people. So we're very focused on that emerging opportunity.
Sounds exciting. So are you focused then on more on the medical side, or are you hoping to also capture the recreational side, a combination of both?
Yeah, definitely a combination of both. Our goal is to maintain high margins as the market starts to mature. So we're focused on the consumer packaged goods side of the industry, branding products. We think that as the market matures, there's going to be a commodification of the cultivation aspect of the business, and the companies that are focused just on cultivating are going to see their margins erode, and obviously their profits as well. And so what we're focused on is looking at the high margin opportunities, which is in the medical stream and on the consumer packaged goods within the adult use segment of the market. So we're looking to do a few things really, really well and then start to build from there. So in the medical side, we're looking to do gel caps and tinctures. And then on the adult use side, we're going to do vape pens and pre-rolls.
Interesting. So you've got a growing operation, but you're not married to that as the future of the company. You're looking at it more as a higher margin consumer packaged goods play.
Yeah, definitely. In the short term, there's going to be a shortage of product in the Canadian marketplace. You know, there's going to be shortages across the country. And so for us to de-risk our business and ensure that we had enough input material to feed our extractors, we had to get a greenhouse to ensure that that aspect of the business was de-risked. As the market matures and it becomes more global, we see the cost of goods being reduced by potentially imports from other equatorial, lower cost growing regions. And so we see that, you know, investing large amounts of capital into big greenhouses here in Canada might not be the best decision long term, and that really focusing on that value added end of the chain is really the most strategic. And companies that are just focused on cultivating, I think they're going to have a lot of margin erosion in the years ahead. Yeah.
So to what extent do you think that there's a couple instances of biosynthetic cannabinoid producers? In one case, Hyacinth out on the East Coast is growing it through genetically modified yeasts, and then the subsidiary of Cronos Group is doing some kind of DNA engineering to recreate the whole profile of cannabinoids, but again, biosynthetically. Is it likely, in your opinion, that in the future you would source cannabinoids for your products from the lowest cost producer or supplier of cannabinoids and not have the growing operation functioning except to service potential premium flower opportunities?
I think that the general consumer has an aversion towards genetically modified organisms, and I think in the cannabis industry especially, cannabis consumers are particularly apprehensive towards that. So I think that the market might not reward companies that focus on that, especially in the adult use segment. I think that that could be a viable business model for pharmaceutical type products where having that single molecule is important. But I also see that as the market does mature and the global opportunity starts to expand, that the low-cost growing regions will be able to produce it for pennies on the dollar. You know, like for grams, they can be produced for less than 10 cents a gram. So when it comes to that level of scale, it's going to be difficult for, it'll be so cost effective for companies to be able to access that type of input material for the extractors that I think that that's the route that we're going to go with our business model.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in terms of the European market, Germany's gone legal for medical purposes,
Yep.
and the UK has announced an intention for medical purposes.
Yep.
Is there any sort of momentum building for a general recreational use of cannabis Europe-wide?
You know, I think that societies across the world are now starting to open their eyes to medical. Typically, if you look at the United States and Canada as examples, the medical market opens up, and then a few years later, the adult use or recreational markets open up. So I think that that trend will continue, and it seems like it's accelerating. If you look at the United States, a lot of states, the period of time that goes between medical and adult use approval is getting shorter and shorter. And so I think that trend is going to continue to happen globally, especially as new tax revenues are going to be able to be created through this legalization. You know, there's very few ways for governments to create new sources of tax revenue. So I think that's something they're going to pay a lot of attention to and will be a big determining factor as that starts to open up.
You mentioned that you saw growth of cannabis moving towards equatorial zones just because of the natural affinity for freer and cheaper energy there, I guess, that comes from the sun.
Yeah.
And you sort of categorize that in the context of the commodification of cannabis, which is a theme that I agree with completely. And so it's refreshing to hear a company actually looking at it that way. How low do you think that the price of cannabis can go in the commoditized environment where only the lowest cost producers can survive?
Well, I think the best analogy or the best industry to look at that is the hemp industry. You know, hemp is being grown outdoors. It's the same plant essentially as the cannabis plant. And you can buy hemp right now in the United States, in the states that are legal to do so, for $20 a pound or even less than that. So if you look at that as a cost per gram, it's about 5 cents per gram. And I think that cost is going to continue to come down. Hemp farmers are still producing $10,000 per acre, which in the traditional farming sense is quite a lot of revenue per acre compared to some other traditional crops. So I think that pricing compression is going to continue to happen. We'll see prices per pound. Once there's very large scale production of THC products, I think it'll get even cheaper than that. So that's why we're focused on the commodification and being able to ensure that we can maintain our margins over the long term. I think the other important factor to consider is that if you look at the trends in the United States and the states that do have recreational or adult use programs, increasingly the non-flower products are gaining more market share. And you look at Oregon, they're at 54% now as non-flower sales. I think as the market matures, it's going to be about 70 to 80% of the market is going to be these non-flower products. And the input that goes into making those is oil. And so whether it's grown in an indoor facility or outdoors, it doesn't really impact the quality of that final product if it's a chocolate bar or a gummy or whatever that product is. So really making sure that you have a really low cost input to make that oil to formulate those products, I think is going to be the key to ensuring that high margin over the long term. Yeah.
Okay, so great. Then looking forward into the rest of Q4 2018 and the first half of, or let's say all of 2019, what do you see as the main catalysts that are going to be value catalysts for the shareholders in Ascent?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. We have a lot of exciting catalysts, and the first thing is getting our licenses fully reinstated. That's something we're working diligently towards and ensuring full compliance with the regulators there. Once that's done, we're going to be able to get our sales license in Canada, which is a significant value for the shareholders and for the business. And then after that, we're looking to get our greenhouse license and our lab license in Canada. So we'll have 3 facilities in Canada, an indoor hydroponic facility, which is already licensed, the greenhouse, which can do 60,000 kilograms a year, and then the lab, which is an industrial extraction manufacturing facility. And then the last catalyst is the Danish license. So we anticipate all of those things happening within the next 6 months. So our sales license, greenhouse license, lab license, and Danish license. So
great.
some significant milestones ahead of
Sure.
us.
So with the effect of the suspension, this makes Ascent a buy, arguably, at this point.
Yeah, I would like to think so, and I think we're fairly favorably valued compared to some of our peers.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to accomplishing those milestones for our stakeholders.
Okay, great. Well, that's an awesome introduction to the company. We wish you the best of luck in sorting out the issues with Health Canada, and we'll look forward to having you back in a quarter's time when smooth sailing has resumed. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Health Canada.
Why?
You didn't watch the interview?
Oh, no. You meant that. Okay, that. I thought you were talking about something else. I thought
No,
it was
they got, so their subsidiary, you know, we didn't actually get into what the actual details were.
Did you say weed?
We.
Oh, we.
We didn't.
We.
But it's going to be, you know, it's like the growing pains. Growing pains.
Look, there's going to be a
associated
lot of dislocation here.
Right.
Can I say that?
Dislocation?
Mislocation.
Dislocation? You know, who was it that said if you don't read the news, you're ill-informed, but if you do read the news, you're misinformed?
Under the category of fake news?
No, under the category of famous sayings from famous people.
You don't like Donald Trump. Do you know there's a word?
I've never met the man.
There's a word, tump, T-U-M-P.
But I just got to say, he's got big problems.
Okay.
But I don't even want to go there
okay.
because let's stay out of the politics, shall we?
It's going to get, look, there's going to be...
It's going to get ugly.
There's going to be a lot, when the reality sets in, it's like, you know, mining
So what,
companies...
this isn't reality?
No, but once it becomes legal, this whole marijuana space is going to have some challenges.
You think?
Well, it's like, you know...
You mean once it all goes legal in exactly...
Perfection only exists in your mind.
You mean in 12 days, 7 hours, and 38 minutes? That's when it goes legal. 12 days, 7 hours, 38 minutes. I need to make some kind of a presentation out of that. So, are you going to
You know what we should do? If we should play the Strauss music that was used in the beginning of 2001 Space Odyssey. Boom, 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 boom. And then build it up to...
No, I don't know that.
You don't know it, yeah.
No. I can get to it in my head. I'll probably hear it walking home in my head.
And then when it hits midnight, that's the...
Boom, 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 boom.
Remember the apes were fighting and they threw the bone up in the air and then it became a spaceship?
No. What movie was
Watch
that?
it again. 2001 Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite a
heard of
director
him.
apparently. Yeah, he was pretty good.
Pretty good, eh?
Good rep.
Good rep.
Good rap.
He's dead now, though, isn't he?
Yep.
But his film's still here, so he kind of lives through those. Mm-hmm. At least his ideas are alive.
So
let's see what our audience is chattering about over here. Let's try to keep them appeased. Oops, what happened? I moved out of that.
keep them in peace.
Keep them appeased. Keep them engaged. Let's see, where are they? Oh, there they are. If Aurora gets a deal or uplists, green day for the sector, says Leafs Community. Doesn't that mean Leafs Community? Hey, that guy
Is that the Maple Leafs?
He has the same face image that Cannabis market expert.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah. Wait, I don't understand that signal, Fraser. Did you mean stop talking so we can...
No, we can't talk for it.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, Juju. Everybody wants us to talk about Juju. What can we say? We didn't get a hold of Steve Gormley. We know that they're doing a deal roadshow here in Toronto and across the country.
Well, we can put up the chart quickly. I can make a couple of comments.
You can.
Just to sort of justify what we've seen.
Would you like the technical chart?
I'd like to see a chart just to, because it had a spectacular move, right? 10, 11 cents.
Yeah.
Right to 39.
Where I got sucked into it.
Jeepers.
Now I'm underwater.
Whoa.
And the volume's
Whoa.
drying up. Look at this. Oh, wait. My NDI is gone. Hold on. NDI.
Indiana.
All right, we're looking at the chart here. Whoa, there's those steel trapdoors. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. So look, here's what frightens me about this whole thing is the volume is drying.
Sure, but today.
Today what? Today the volume.
No, that's okay. You want the volume to dry up. If the volume was continuing and we were continuing, this isn't so bad. It had a monster move. Look at above the band, above the band, above the band, and then now you know what did you expect? It just can't keep going.
Yes, it can.
Well, did it?
No.
Thank you.
Well, that doesn't mean that it couldn't. Just
no, but it
can't.
It can't.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy to say in retrospect. The point is, okay, here we are. So now we want to flatten out here. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
The bad news is expansion, contraction. So we're going to see the bands contract, go sideways, and then you want to catch it on a blip. That's
blip.
Little
Is
blip.
that a technical term?
Little blip.
Little blip?
Not a blimp.
Is a blip
not a blimp.
bullish or a bearish
Not
symbol?
George Plimpton.
George Plimpton. He used to write for Sports Illustrated, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. George
So
Plimpton. I always
look,
thought that was a funny name.
look at the RSI. It was close to 90.
Yeah.
It's now 53.
So that's making you feel good?
It's neutral. That's the problem. We need action.
Yeah. Well, okay. So how much more time are you going to give them?
Before I
Sell everything.
who's to say own it? You know what? Look. They have a plan. The big fear here is in all of this is that is the game over for? It's not over. It's
Well,
just
how do you know?
well.
Can't
I'm trying to.
Maybe that was it. Maybe it's time to sell everything.
Maybe that's a possibility.
I don't think so. I think you know
That's what I just said, but you argue with me.
Well, of course.
Now
That's what sophists do.
Sophist?
Sophists. Whatever you
Is that
point
this
you take,
office?
I'll take
Did
the
you say
office.
this office or sophist?
Sophist. Do you know what a sophist is?
Sophocles,
No, Sophocles is Sophocles. Do you know what a sophist is?
a person that advocates Sophocles' philosophy,
Which was?
sophism. What? Am I not right?
Well, no, I don't think there's anybody in the world's going to argue with you on that. Ever.
Thank you.
Like, I
Thank
think
you. Thank you.
I think you just sort
Okay.
of put a pin in that one, shall we say?
Okay, let's.
What? What? Now what do we want to do? Want to go play some baseball?
Let's. I think we gotta move on here.
Okay. What other chart should we look at today? I want to take a look at weed, canopy growth, you know?
Yeah.
Remember
let's
our
look
old
at let's
pals?
look at weed.
That's still looking like, well, it's funny. So I've got, as you know, a running conversation going with my young friend Dimitri, and he's
Dimitri says it's going to 40 before it goes to 100.
yeah, and I'm saying it's going to 100 before it goes to 40. I
Holy.
said I haven't put a time frame on it. I say it's going to 100 by Christmas. But you know what? We'll do it. One of those giant,
What's
mysterious.
the bet? $100?
No, there's no money on it. It's just a friendly bet.
Oh wow.
Well, you know, when you're
This'll
putting
keep you-
thousands and tens of
This'll
thousands.
keep you up at night.
Well, when you're putting hundreds of $1,000s of market in the money, there's your bet. So there's no point in betting $10 with your buddy.
Hundreds of thousands
Thousands
of
of
market into
hundreds.
the money?
Thousands of hundreds of markets into the money. Can you even understand what I'm saying?
I can. That's the sick part. Only I. When I'm sitting in this chair, I
Well-
have special conference with up high.
High Hampton? Oh, let's look at their chart.
You know, when I used to go golfing with a bunch of guys down in Florida, we used to get a little inebriated, and we used to
A
speak.
little
We used to speak this language called mumbleese.
mumbleese.
Yeah, mumble. Blah, 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 blah. And
You
you
like talking in
and
tongues.
there was but there was one gentleman who was a master at speaking in mumbleese. They said the only person that could understand him was me, because I was also speaking mumbleese, but I had to wear a special T-shirt to understand him. So whenever he got really loaded, they'd throw this T-shirt over and say, "Hey, put it on the T-shirt. Tell us what he said." True story.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Look at High Hampton's chart. I thought we were supposed to be buying this thing, and now look, it looks like a lame dick piece of shit too, like everything else today. Ed, what the hell is
Limp
up with that? Limp Biscuit. Yeah, I saw one woman commented that, you know, I really appreciate the insight and the ideas, but I sure wish there was less swearing. I said, fuck that shit.
You know what? Let's honor her request.
Okay,
Let's.
for 1 minute, because then the show's over. Can you go 1 minute without swearing?
they're just letters of the alphabet arranged in a certain order.
In a more colorful fashion. with a little bit more phonetic pleasure to them. Sonic, resonance, not dissonance.
Yeah.
Resonance. Anyways, that's 4:30 right now, people. So you know what
this
that
is
means?
basing out. Now, I thought we were getting ready
Ed
for
wants
a
the
move.
show to go on forever, but
You know
it's
what?
not going to.
You know what?
Thank you for
Anybody
watching.
wanna stay
if you
on,
want
I'm
to
gonna stay
subscribe,
here for another-
subscribe.
I'm
Ed's
going-
going to be talking to
I'm doing a
himself.
24-hour
We'll be
show.
at John and Sons if you want to come and
Yeah.
drink with them.
I'll be crying
and
by
don't forget
myself.
to subscribe, prescribe, and also imbibe every day. And have a wonderful evening. We do hope to see you tomorrow. I won't be here, though. Edward will be here with a co-host.
Edward Scissorhands.
But I will be checking in from Vancouver. Thanks for watching.